Good morning. We're live again.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome back at the last day of the Lionsgate portal officially. We take a few moments for everybody to come in, as you're used to. So take your time to feel the fields and enjoy this special moment for yourself this morning.
Nice to see you all coming in. We expect you've had some magical days since Sunday. What a milestone that was.
For sure, that was a milestone. We'll talk about that in a second. We have a whole subject on milestones. Yeah. But welcome everybody from around the world. We're so grateful you're here again for this so important work, the healing temple of Lemuria and Atlantis. And as we said, this is a deep, deep calling that we received from the Lemurians, Lemurian beings, for healing and alignment for all of those around the globe that are still holding on to a trauma from Lemurian and or Atlantean destruction of the continents and the fall of the consciousness and anything that happened there. So we are so grateful that you made it this morning to be with us. Mm-hmm. So make yourself comfortable and relax and enjoy this gathering. And we're so happy that you're all here because it was such a late notice that we were asked to do this extra meditation in a way in the Lionsgate portal. And I don't know how your day has been on Sunday, the last Sunday, after our meditation, but ours was just miraculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to say something about it? What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, it reminded us to expect the unexpected, because after our meeting on Sunday, I went for a walk in the woods with my husband. And we are surrounded by woodlands, and they've been doing a lot of logging here in our area, so all the paths are gone, and there are blackberries bushes everywhere. So as we were treading over the blackberry bushes and trying to find our way, and a little bit lost in the woods, completely off any kind of path, we all of a sudden happened on a milestone. So we're living here in France. The milestones are made of stone, and they always have letters or numbers chiseled into them. So when we looked at this milestone, we turned it over, and what was written on the milestone was Ra.
R-A. Our
the sun god.
The
Ra.
sun god. On the Lionsgate portal.
So reality is completely unexpected. We were reminded that if we stay open, all kinds of things happen that we have no idea, could never ever even imagine.
Yeah.
And so the milestone Ra is now at our house because we carried it about 1.5 miles on a stick with a dog's leash, swinging back and forth, very heavy, and then went to pick it up with a car. So Ra has been accompanying us all week and also guiding us in many very special ways.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because all of these, what we call deities maybe, or gods, or whatever they were in our historical books, they seem to become so palpable at these times, so close to us, so close into the earth realms, which they are actually doing. And it's the same for the Lemurians. We were having really intense interactions with the Lemurians this week also. And at a certain moment we said, well, why is it that we see you in such a different way and connect with you? Because you look so close, like friends having a coffee together. And they said, is that because you're more dense? And I said, no, it's because you and humankind has become lighter, so we are more like becoming equal. And they said to us, you just have to see us as your older brothers and sisters. We've been here all along the way since the fall of Lemuria, Atlantis. We've been here to guide you, but we were in a different dimension, so to say. A dimension that was less dense than ours, and we did a completely different work on the surface than what's happening in the earth and in the galactical realms. And I would like to say something about Lemuria, because we know about Lemuria and Atlantis, and specifically when we talk about that, we often talk about the land, the physical land. But in the way we talk about it in this work today, and any work we're doing, is really about the consciousness that they were holding, and that's a very specific consciousness, and it was connected really to the earliest times of our Earth. So it's not only about the moment of the fall that you often hear. It's way older, and in the beginning of time, specifically what we would call the Lemurian consciousness, has been an extremely high consciousness. Very light, very multidimensional by nature, fully activated. And through the times, it really went down and down, in a way, to say it like that. It's not exactly the words, but it's the closest we can get, I think, to explaining it. And it's important that many of our soul family have experienced lives on Earth during the Lemurian and the Atlantean epochs. Yeah? Some have experienced the high peak of consciousness in both civilizations, and others have experienced the fall, the great destructions, the walls of separation that started. And some souls have lived through both, so they might have memories or experiences that come from that time. Mm-hmm. And that is what we were told by these Lemurian light beings, that they still feel the grief and the loss in one way or another, consciously or unconsciously. Mm-hmm. And it causes their light to be dimmed in a way. And we learned through this week also that it has to do with the DNA activation, the amount of strands that are possible in our human beings, that can go way up to 36 strands. I mean, we're talking about 2 DNA strands at the moment for us. But in a way, these strands were shut down when the fall of consciousness happened. So at the moment, we are activating all these strands that are our birthright. Excuse me. And it's amazing, because with the activation of all these DNA strands, we get an access to tools that we could never have dreamed of, that come with the activations of DNA. And that is those are multidimensional tools. So that is why we are changing at the moment. We notice other things. We are able to communicate with the Lemurians in a whole new way, like they are our siblings in a way. And that has to do with that activation of the DNA strands.
And I think it's important to say here is that one of the factors of being able to reactivate dormant DNA is the field of unconditional love that has been growing and getting stronger and stronger on the planet, because we know that one of the reasons we've not been able to activate this DNA is because there has not been the wisdom of the heart to direct the honorable functioning of the DNA. So as we activate, we activate in function of our capacity to hold this field of unconditional love. So everything comes from the heart. All the directionality comes from the heart. The heart has a much higher intelligence than the mind. And the mind, in a way, is a servant of the heart, we could say. So when that is not so, then we are kind of falling back into this lower technological Atlantean destructive consciousness, which is still very much alive on our planet today. It's one of the things that we are in the process of moving through. So that the heart field can really be the dominant field and intelligence on Gaia.
Yeah, and in the work of today, in the temple work of today, we will be going through a conscious purification of these distorted belief systems of separation that stem from that time, or these moments. Mm-hmm. And we will be able to perceive, in the end, the new Lemuria again. So the motherland of Gaia Earth in a way. And that will be such a homecoming for many of us. And we feel that with the work we're going to be doing today, many will come with us in the slipstream for this healing. We also recommend to do the meditation again that we will be doing. We are told to mention that specifically because you might want to do it again and again to really feel and work not only for your own memory but also specifically for the collective. Because apparently there are still millions out there carrying this memory and that need to be purified. So be aware of that you're doing the work for yourself personally, but definitely for the collective. It's a big work.
As we move, as we brighten our own light and our own inner sun, our inner solar power, so too do we support others in turning on their own lights when they're in spiritual amnesia, which is the case still for many people who came here to actually awaken and be part of the illumination of humanity. Yeah. So this is another day where we feel very, very strong impulse of us all coming together to help to illuminate and to put the switch back on for those whose switch has not been turned on yet.
Yeah, and many of the events on Earth that we know, we've spoken about the Cathars a lot, the Essenes, many who have lived the way of love through the centuries, through the timelines. Many of the distortions in this time have come and originated in this time. So it's very important that we really, work on this point of origin almost of separation. And with that, we expect DNA to be activated to the level that it's good for you. So everybody will receive what's good for you. And we heard that many Lemurians are available around us, with you, with each and every one of you. There will be guiding, let's say, brothers and sisters from our family, joining us in this journey to support you in the work. So when it's something that you might not feel or don't know what to do, just surrender to them. They will support you and you'll be in such good hands in this work.
Yeah, and today also, this is the first year where we're celebrating Isis's birthday. I mean, it was the Romans that gave her this date as a birth date, but we consider that it's a great occasion to celebrate her, and especially because she's been so specific this week, Petra.
Yeah. She in some work of preparation in this whole Lionsgate work this week and upcoming she was really close to us in almost every work we did, and also connection to Lemuria. And at a certain moment, I mean, she has such an incredible wisdom, and when she's in the field, I mean, both her and Mary Magdalene, I mean, these energies, when they blend, they bring an incredible power of wisdom, so to say. But there was a moment that we noticed that she was like as if she was flying out with these beautiful wings, in the way she is seen depicted, often depicted. But what we heard was like she was saying, like, I'm free, I'm liberated, I'm free, I'm liberated. And we were so surprised because we had no idea what that meant. And we just take these things in as they come. And later during the week, it became very clear that all of these consciousness that are guiding us already for a long, long time are somehow being liberated too, as we are liberated. They move as we move to a whole new consciousness in a way. I mean, I'm saying it from our perspective, from the human Earth perspective. So they will be bringing in a more liberated way, more wisdom, more consciousness in a way, more activation to us as we are ready to receive it. And there was such a field of liberation for her that I never expected, because I mean, she's been important in our lives, but this liberation was just a field of joy, and she was in the air. She was mastering the element of air, like a true master, what it means to work with air, with all the wisdom and all the prana that's in the air. So we'll see how that evolves. Yeah. And Egypt was quite strong with us anyway. I mean, and the Lemurians, of course, and the Atlanteans are connected to the ancient Egyptian times, as we know many of them that survived the falling of the going down of the continents. Some of them left to the Egyptian areas and that whole area there, all these countries there.
We see that there's several people here today from Egypt, so thank you for holding space from there. That's wonderful.
Great.
Yeah. We wanted to talk a little bit about the Lemurians that are coming more and more into our space, who are really, well, we wouldn't say physicalizing because they haven't changed, they say, but that we are becoming more and more conscious of them. That you wanted to say something about how their bodies are to the same as ours.
Yeah, that was really that was really a surprise, because I've noticed them a long time, and they are changed. In my eyes, they are changed, and they really come across like as we would all be together physically, in a surrounding, more palpable, almost as if we could touch them. It's coming that close. So, and that's what I said earlier, in a way, like they showed how their DNA strands are fully activated, and that's where they can learn. They are kind of role models for us, and we can learn from them more and more how our multidimensionality is actually the same as theirs. We have the same potential, and only we have gone through the work of the fall and the learning process of karma, etc., through the ages, to rediscover our multidimensionality, which is all of the work we're doing in Mary Magdalene School, in a way. And they are there now with us, next to us, behind us, on our tables, to support us every step of the way in these days, to remember the maximum of our potential whenever we are ready. So I just wanted to be stating that, because they really pounded on us to mention that they are there, and ask for their help as you would ask an older brother or sister. Yeah. And it's also good, I think, we talk a lot about that the veil is disappearing, which comes with embodying your multidimensionality. But it was really important at the times when the fall was there, the consciousness was really low, that the veil was there, and the almost the dormant state of humanity started in the three-dimensional realms, both as a result of that lower consciousness, and on the other hand also as a protection, because if we would have all our DNA still activated and have this multidimensional power, because it is a power state, then with the lower consciousness we would really have damaged Gaia Earth to a very high degree, and maybe even more. So it was very important also as a protection mechanism that our DNA strands, a lot of them were put into a, let's say, a dormant state, and that we could live with our two strands of DNA in the three-dimensional reality as we did, which was the level of a lower consciousness. But now we are really moving up and ready to activate. And many of you, I'm sure, have already activated more DNA strands through the work you're doing, through the meditations, through the inner guidance you're following, through the heart work you're doing inside of the sacred space of the heart. It's all contributing to that higher state of consciousness.
All of it is done in divine timing. So it's a question of just of trust and staying together. It's so important staying together right now, and working together and supporting each other in this field of unconditional love and clarity and truth. Very, very important to stay in the truth. Yeah,
maybe it's also good. I mean, we talked a lot about community. It's something that's asked from us to bring our community together, and we even feel that today community is even more essential than ever before. We've spoken to innumerable people who feel they're alone in their families, they're alone in their networks. They can't find people who think like them, who feel like them, who live like them, who follow the path of love, who follow the exploration of multidimensional living. And they cannot share their hearts, their experiences, which is really something which is critical in this time. And we feel more than ever to let you know that, first of all, we are here. So if you feel connected to our community, be very welcome. There's many ways you can connect to us in this way. We have a special remembership group also that come together 2 to 3 times a month, which you can find on the website if you want to see that, what that really means. And We might also post something on that for your information. But if that's not where your community is found for you, please find your community wherever you are on Earth. Create your own community, step out, and you know, even if you start with 2 people, 3 people, it's already a little community, and it will start to evolve, and we need that. We feel it so strong.
It's imperative now.
Yeah.
It's imperative now, because there's those that will not go through multidimensional activation. This is not their path at this time. So if you're here, it's because you're committed to this path. So to make the journey and smoother in these times, these very, very turbulent times, it's really important to be with others. So find your people around you, either physically or across the web. And of course, we're here, and find others, and let's make the family web bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and be aware if you are among a lot of people who have a different consciousness, more maybe a denser consciousness, then it will also have it could have the effect that your frequency is pulled down, which requires more and more work and more energy of you to really come back again to your own resonance. So make it easy for yourself and create your community. We
wanted to talk a little bit more about these
deities,
because more and more we're finding that we are actually one web of life. We are connected to all the realms of consciousnesses, and as we awaken and as we activate, we start to consciously collaborate with all these realms, with the mineral kingdom, with the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the kingdom of the elementals. And this week it was really a lot with the level of the reality of the God realms, and Egypt, very much with the Egyptian deities. And about a month ago, a deity called Geb, and maybe some of you know him, maybe for others he's new. He came in, and this was the first time that we had ever met him. About a month ago, he communicated with us about his tiredness, about his role, that he was really tired of his role. He was coming to an end of his role. And we just accepted that information, not knowing very much about him. And then he came in again very strongly this week. And he is considered or popularly known as the god of the earth to the ancient Egyptians.
The father, eh?
The father, yeah, the father.
Yeah.
Like the earthly father.
Yeah.
And in ancient Egypt, they referred to him as... referred to earth as the house of Geb. So really it's the masculine quality of earth. He was the grandson of Ra, and he originally came from Sirius. And of course we're in this great Syrian portal time, this Lionsgate portal, which connects us very strongly to Sirius at this time. So in a way it's no surprise that he came in at the moment. There's a whole story about Geb. He's considered to be the god of vegetation, of fertility, of earthquakes, and he supplied the minerals and stones to Earth, apparently. So these were all things that we learned about, and
we can so imagine that he is tired. Yeah,
we can so imagine that he's tired.
There's some people asking if you can say the name or spell the name again.
His name is Geb, so G-E-B. You can look him, Geb. And those who were burdened with guilt and regret on Earth were taken down into the underworld by Geb in order to purify their systems, purify their hearts, to be able to ascend. And the information he gave us is that his role is over now. He's finished his role. We don't know where he's going now, what his role will be. Maybe that will be revealed to us, or maybe that will be revealed to some of you. But he came in for us to be very, very clear about this, because he has been such a major part of the earth realms for us, that with his shift into a different role, we will feel that in our energetic system. And he asked us to give everyone this information to be aware that our energetic systems will be shifting with his moving out from this role that he's been carrying for eons now. Yeah.
And when we were working yesterday with him also, and with the Lemurians, they were showing us that a time of where what we would call the fall of the human beings is over. So there's all these milestones, as we spoke in the beginning of this live about milestones, that are showing that there's a whole period that is closing up and the new is starting to a whole new level. So it feels like that is also a relationship to his finishing his job, to what he's been doing so long.
That going through this great purification time that we're in right now, that this purification will no longer be needed in the future, because there will be a moment that it is over and finished.
Yeah, and there's some say thank you, Gab. Well, absolutely, because I think this energy is has held a lot.
Yeah.
Having to do with humanity. Yeah.
And so it feels very much that this, the sense that we have, and maybe you can feel into this, is that actually Gaia is coming into another level of a oneness consciousness, where this father and mother element are unifying in a whole new way, which is a very, very different level than it was before.
Yeah. And I feel when we reach our own multidimensional states within our potential, that these deities will also show themselves in whole new ways. So in a way, I'm very excited about it and curious of what that is going to be. But that's probably the next adventure for us for the coming time.
And an adventure it is, huh? Every day.
It is.
Adventures in multi-conscious, multi-dimensional life. Yeah,
I'm sure it's for you the same. So hang on there. We're just navigating through this time.
Yeah. So we wanted to thank all of you who made donations to the school last week. We're really so very grateful. It allows us to continue our work. And for those who would like to donate, there's a donation button at the top of our Facebook page. If you like what we're doing, please like our page. That really helps also for us to reach more people who may be aligned with our work, part of our soul family.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You want to say something about the community ideas for next year's we might have in physical?
Oh yeah, well, this is still at a seeding point, but because we're in the year of the yellow seed, we are feeling a real desire, and in a way a calling to try to create a 3-month time of gathering here in Vézelay. So that is in the works. We dream of having a space here where people can come in for as long as they like, either for several days or weeks or months, or for the 3-month period.
Who knows?
With programming and
with all of us.
With all of us, yeah, exactly.
And with the Lemurian and Atlantean friends,
Yeah, and to really grow the community, because we are at a time when we are creating new systems. Yeah, that's what we need, and creating community from the heart in a whole new way.
Yeah.
So the thought of this really touches our heart, gives us a lot of joy, and so we will be continuing to move on this path to see if it opens for us, to make it possible.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, actually, because when the call is there, it always manifests. So, well, that's, I think, the news for today on this beautiful day for healing, entering the healing temple. Yeah. It's do you want to say something about the healing temple here still, or you want to go in?
Maybe we'll leave that for next time.
Oh, it's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger. Good.
So we'll slowly get ready for our healing work today. So maybe make yourselves comfortable. we'll slowly close our eyes and make yourselves comfortable, either sitting or lying down as you wish. And take time to just slow your breath and to drop into silence, deeper silence, into a net of safety and stillness. Bringing all the energy from the outside to the inner world, to the inner planes. And feel with each new breath in and out how you fall even more deeply into stillness. Moving out of all of the external stories, simply into the deep stillness within. And in the stillness, as you fall deeper and deeper, you feel how potent the field becomes. This field for healing and transformation. That happens simply through surrender, and because it is divine timing. There's nothing to do. There's just an allowance to be in this stillness. And when you have fallen fully into this inner stillness, then just create your own connection to Mother Earth and Father Sky, and feel the oneness with them. This field of safety, unconditional love, sacredness, and then just very gently move into the sacred space of the heart, into your inner temple, into the great mystery within yourself. And from this sacred space, we will call in Mary Magdalene, Isis, Yeshua, Babaji, the Syrian Healers and the Syrian High Council. We will call in Geb and Ra. And we will call in Sophia and all the emanations of the Divine Mother. We call in Saint Germain and the angelic realms. And we call in the Lemurian keepers of the codes of alignment and healing. We create this beautiful channel for the healing today. And as we do so, we will call in anyone in our surroundings or from our ancestral line that need healing or support. So please call in all those you feel need support or healing today. And when the field has been completely created, we are now ready to travel to a beautiful Lemurian temple of peace, which exists in the 5th dimension. This temple is a healing temple, and along with its etheric crystalline beauty, it has an extraordinary energy that influences all of our atoms as soon as we enter it. We feel as the atomic structure of our body is put into motion. There is a deep sense of relaxation and peace. We allow ourselves to adjust to the frequency here for just a few moments. In this extraordinary space of peace and healing. And we start to notice the Lemurian Healers who have prepared to meet us on this very special occasion. We notice that these healers are like family members, except that they are living in a more elevated state of consciousness than is typically found on the surface of the earth. they know us deeply, and they have infinite compassion and unconditional love for us. They are so grateful that we have accepted to come to them for this great moment of collective healing. And we notice all the rainbows that are the backdrop of the temple. This is truly a place of magic and miracles. And as the Lemurian healers, with their incredible field of love, purify us to prepare for this deep healing work, they ask us to bring to the surface any pain, grief, trauma, feeling of separation, or homesickness that we are ready now to dissolve. This may be a pain or a blockage in the physical body. It may be an emotional pain or a psychological suffering. It may be a soul trauma that you have carried over many, many lifetimes. If there is nothing specific, then simply ask that all false or limited beliefs you may still be carrying be dissolved, as well as the manifestations of these beliefs in your current life. We ask that the circle of all beings who have come into the work today be healed to the degree they can receive healing, and we open ourselves to receive as much healing as possible in today's work. So we allow the Lemurian healers to show us to the most sacred healing space in their healing temple complex. And when we arrive fully, we lay down on specially prepared beds that hold a very holy vibration. We smell holy fragrances, and we hear healing sounds from a chorus that is specially trained to accompany healing ceremonies. We are put in a state of receptivity to allow a maximum transformation into unconditional love. As we allow ourselves to drop ever deeper into this holy space, we feel how denser frequencies are simply falling away. Frequencies of shame, frequencies of guilt, of regret, fear, or tension, all are completely dissolving. Any feelings that you are not important fall away as you sink into a deeper embodiment of your natural divinity. Allow your body to sink into its natural divine state. It has always been divine, sacred, and fully capable of healing itself. Allow yourself to realize its full divinity. Allow for this deep healing to move through all the atoms of all your bodies. Any traumatic storyline that we have not processed is brought to the surface and easily transformed into unconditional love and understanding. Just allow this to happen. Observe as it happens all on its own. Any discomfort, any sense of separation, just witness how it falls away. As you lie there in this holy space, you know that you are holy and that you are one with all life. You know the oneness because it is the very essence of the fabric from which you are created. You are made from the Creator's cells. You could never possibly be anything less than holy. Now bring in anyone in your field with whom there may be tension, and allow the healers to realign the energies so that they are brought back into harmony. Allow these relationships to be infused with holiness. bring in now your work context and allow the healers to harmonize and bring peace into the energies of your workplace. Allow your workplace, your workspace, to become a place of holiness. And as the Lemurian healers continue to work in these fields, we will open a new space that allows them to fully restore the threefold flame of life within the space of our hearts. This threefold flame of life holds the frequencies of divine love, divine wisdom, and divine power. Over time, this flame has atrophied and become much smaller than it was originally designed to be. And we are ready for it to be brought back to its full capacity, enabling us to fully use our divine solar power in our thoughts, words, and actions. Allow for the full reactivation of this flame, which is fed through the heart center and shines brightly for several feet around the physical body. Feel, sense, or see how this reactivation aligns you with your inner magic and all the natural attributes of your divinity. Feel Saint Germain and how he is supporting you in this reawakening of your inner magic and divinity. And now the time has come for a second group of Lemurian healers to enter the healing chamber. Feel, sense, or see how one of these healers approaches you to accompany you through the next phase of this healing. These healers are specialized in DNA work. They are here to activate dormant DNA that are ready to be put online today in divine timing in your life journey. The reactivation process has been dependent on the field of unconditional love. All the abilities we hold in our DNA need to be supervised by the wisdom of the divine heart. Now the time has come to go to a deeper level of activation. So just allow this to happen with the help of these Lemurian healers. There is nothing for you to do, simply receive. Open up so that the activation can take place in the optimal way for you at this time on your life path. These Lemurian healers have very specific knowledge about the DNA. With their fully activated DNA, they know exactly what to do. And they are supporting us to move through to this next level of multidimensional awareness. And as their work slowly comes to an end, we see, sense, and feel our bodies and the changes that have been made there, that we will discover in our waking lives, bit by bit. And now you are asked to slowly move from your healing bed and to move into a cosmic boat that is waiting for you outside the Lemurian temple. Take your time to make your way to the boat. And when all are aboard this cosmic vessel, you are taken to Sirius, where the Syrian healers are waiting for you. They have been waiting for you for a very, very long time, and they are absolutely overjoyed with your presence. They are so grateful that you have used this very special portal time to come to them, as they also have knowledge about the next step in your multidimensional activation process. And their skills are at service to supporting you in this next level of your life path. Please thank them for their warm welcome and allow them to show you into their healing temple complex. Allow these exquisite healers to open you to even deeper levels of your original blueprint. They are capable of repairing any damaged DNA that has disconnected you from your divine blueprint. And at this time, there are many with very damaged DNA, and the Syrian Healers have the tools to help. So just surrender to this restoration process. This deep healing of damaged DNA. And see, sense, or feel as a coherency returns into your system. A clarity, a wholeness. Sense as you move even deeper into being who you were designed to be. Into your original perfection. As this restoration comes to an end, you realize that you have made another great step back into wholeness and into the arms of Creator. All that was seemingly lost is being restored and returned to you. This is a grand and glorious reunion with all that you are, so that you become the natural expression of your divinity, so that you live as a natural expression of divine grace at all times, so that you embrace your God presence and live from this space in your daily life. You now embark to journey back to Gaia, to your home. And when you arrive back and bring your consciousness to the sacred space of the heart, one last gift awaits you. Bring your awareness fully back to the sacred space of the heart. And there, Isis awaits. Isis invites you to download from her book of wisdom, which she is generously sharing with all who are connected to her. Allow your whole system, with its newly repaired and reactivated DNA strands, to open, to download the wisdom that is precious to you at this moment in your life journey. See, sense, or feel how this happens easily, effortlessly. With the ease of a multidimensional being activated. And we'll stay in this field for another moment. Integrating all that has happened. Integrating our new state of being. Integrating this new vibrational spectrum. This new consciousness, this new level of awareness. And slowly we will start to bring our awareness to the outer world, to the sounds in our environment, the smells in our environment, to the sensation of the air coming in and out of our nostrils. We'll wiggle the fingers and the toes, stretch a little bit, and gently bring the body back to an awareness of the outer world, slowly opening the eyes. Before we say goodbye for today, I would just like you to tap a little bit below your collarbone to ground yourself in this reality here, to anchor on Gaia Earth. Take your time to be in nature today. If you can, drink lots of water. And we'll stay connected through the inner planes. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.